Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is November the 23rd, 2022. It's the night before Thanksgiving for those who celebrate Thanksgiving and to those who don't celebrate Thanksgiving for your religious or cultural reasons. Hopefully you'll have some nice time off from work Thursday and Friday. Hopefully you got off those days. All right, so we'll jump right into this. Tonight I call this open dialogue. Tonight, I call this open dialogue, and I'm going to let everyone come on and speak their mind. Hopefully they can talk in 2 minutes or less on Facebook as well as on Zoom. And so I'm going to start and open it up right now to anyone who would like to make a comment. If you have a concern about Local 1000 or about the country or anything else that's on your mind, please raise your hand on Zoom, or I'll read your comments off on Facebook. Good evening, Elizabeth. And if you want to come on Facebook Live with me, put it in the text that you want to go live, and I'll bring you on video on Facebook. All right, so I'm going to open up the floor right now. Does anyone have any comments to make about the country, about the union, about anything? And I'm going to wait a few minutes to see who wants to make the first comment or can question or whatever they would like to speak. We're going to make this easy tonight. Like I said, this is before Thanksgiving. And so many of you are probably cooking this evening. Many of you are maybe out shopping. Hopefully everyone is off for the next 2 days, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not. You know, everyone does not celebrate Thanksgiving in America for various reasons. So hopefully they still have time off from work. And to those who do celebrate Thanksgiving, you'll have a safe Thanksgiving. So does anyone have any questions or concerns tonight? Yes, please, go ahead. Well, it seems everyone's kind of quiet tonight. All right, so hold on one moment. I'm trying to let people in on Zoom. Does anyone have any questions or concerns tonight? Oh, everyone's so quiet tonight. I find that hard to believe. So I'll say a few words, and then I'll see if someone wants to say anything or not. Oh, so I just got a comment on Facebook. A reminder to vote for the CalPERS runoff election. So everyone who's a retiree from the state of California who had a CalPERS pension, please make sure that you vote this evening. Not this evening, but vote before, I think December 6th is the cutoff. There's two candidates running, Yvonne Walker, the former Local 1000 president, and Randall Cheek. So anyone who's retired, only retirees who had a CalPERS pension can vote in this runoff election. And I believe you can do it by phone, online, or by mail. So please make sure that you vote. Now, okay, I see a hand raised. So go ahead, Derek. Derek Roque, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Mr. President. Can you hear me?
Oh, loud and clear. I'm sorry, wait, before you get started, you're right, Elizabeth. It's December 5th, not December 6th. Thank you for catching that for me. December 5th, to make sure you vote for the retiree for the CalPERS board seat between Yvonne Walker and Randall Cheek. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
Thank you so much for taking my call. I know tonight's kind of an open dialogue. I just wanted to give a couple thanks for what I'm thankful for.
Okay.
I'm thankful that we have strong members in this union who duly elected you to serve as our presiding president that, presides over this governing body known as Local 1000. I am thankful that we still have the ability to vote in such elections, and also, like you just mentioned, we have the ability, if you're a retiree, to cast your vote on the CalPERS retiree board. Here's what I'm not thankful for, though. I'm not thankful for those who have evil intentions that want to smear and destroy people's rights and voting privileges. And And I wish going forward in the future we could put a stop to all that. And if anyone out there celebrates Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful to have my brothers and sisters here tonight in the Zoom room and on Facebook who still love and support Local 1000. May you have a blessed holiday.
Thank you, Derek Roque. You know what? Well, I always say that these videos are unscripted, unedited, unrehearsed. And I'm not sure if everyone realizes that Derek is Jewish. And so, you know, those who practice Judaism, they're reading from the Old Testament. And he talked about those that he's not thankful for with their evil intentions. That's funny that he says that. Because I was thinking tonight about something in the New Testament about, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. But it also says in the New Testament, rejoicing in hope, patience in tribulation, continuing instant prayer. Now that's in the New Testament. And so when Derek talks about being thankful for voting, I must strongly agree with him. In this country, we can still vote. And your vote does matter. Now, I know here in Local 1000, there are people trying to remove me from office, and it appears that we had an election, I was elected president, now I don't have my powers, they got me on this suspension. And so this has thrown our union into a topsy-turvy, chaotic situation. Some people have quit. They've lost faith. And so when I talk about Derek and his faith, because he's Jewish, and he practices Judaism. So he's coming from the Old Testament. But even in the New Testament, it talks about not losing faith. And so when I talked about a song years ago, and it was my campaign slogan in 2018, don't stop believing, that Hall of Fame rock group Journey. And it's a very simple song. It's a very simple song about not losing. Hold on, I'm gonna mute everybody. Make sure everyone's muted on Zoom here. Okay, so hold on 1 second here. I want to make sure I mute everybody. Okay, so it's a very simple song by Journey, Don't Stop Believing. But it's religiously based. And so when we go through these great trials and tribulations in our life, we can't give up. This is why I've always told people, just because our union is in disarray right now, you don't give up. I understand people's frustrations though, but we don't give up on our union. And that's why I wanted to have an open dialogue tonight, because different people have different feelings about being thankful before Thanksgiving. For those who celebrate Thanksgiving. Many people in America, or a percentage of people in America, do not celebrate Thanksgiving for various reasons. The same reasons that they don't, oftentimes people don't celebrate Christmas or their birthdays. So sometimes those reasons are based in religion. Sometimes it's based in culture. And so, you know, I want to acknowledge those people as well. So hopefully those people have time off Thursday and Friday this week from work. All right, so I see a hand raised. Roxy Walker, go ahead, Roxy.
Hello, Mr. President. Happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays.
I decided today that on this Zoom, we're going to be a little honest, because I went to a few spaces. So you remember I told you that some union members or CLC were coming out to our office, Lancaster, on Thursday. they don't return calls. So for a minute, I did hope. And I just felt like every time you try to turn a corner, they close the door. And I'm not going to joke with you. I'm at that point. If the union could get into a work fight, what does that say? I have never heard that before. They literally had to sit out with the customers and talk to us across the counter who went to lunch. So I'm kind of feeling like, okay, so they're doing what they're doing to you. DMV is taking advantage of every little corner that they can. So when they did that, this is when I got angry at you. And I just kind of said to myself, why did you not come? This, I had such great hope.
Hey, Roxy, can you repeat what you said?
Yeah.
You're breaking up. Well, I can't hear you clearly.
Oh, is it better?
Yes.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. So I got a little angry and I just kept saying, why did you think out? You folks are picking at everything they think. And DMV is taking advantage of all the chaos. So DMV has been put back at the bottom of the totem pole, where they usually are. So the union bought us out the swag. And everyone was, excited because we finally got something. Sir, we opened that bag up and it was for nurses.
Wait, hold on, Roxy, because you're still breaking up a little bit. I'm gonna repeat what you just said. So the union came out last Thursday. They couldn't get in. You tried to call labor relations. Labor relations wouldn't answer the phone. And then, were they inside the building or were they out in the parking lot?
No, they were inside the building.
Okay, so they were inside the building, but they couldn't get to the break room or whatever?
Yeah, they couldn't get through the door.
Okay, now you're loud and clear. And then you said that the swag bag that they brought wasn't for DMV?
No, it was for the nurses.
Which nurses, 17 or 20?
I believe it was 17. So we got a cup for the nurses. We got a backpack for the nurses. But you know what a slap in the face that was?
Yes.
And how do I'm so fed up to where I'm just beyond.
So
I don't see anything happening. It's just stagnant.
So let me say this to you. I talked about that Hebrews 11:1. Now, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. A substance of things hoped for, but evidence of things not seen. To a human mind, to a rational mind, that makes absolutely no sense. That only can apply to those who are in the spirit. So when you say, hey, you're frustrated and you're tired of this nonsense, you're right. And you're not by yourself, because many other people have already quit. And many people are waiting to see if they actually kick me out of the union, and then they're going to quit too.
True.
Okay? So here, what they did to you last Thursday was wrong. They didn't go in prepared. People make mistakes. They could have had that swag bag correct. That could have been a mistake that could have been corrected. That did not have to happen. And then on top of that, maybe there are some people in DMV who feel, wow, those nurses in Bargaining 17, they're making a lot more money than I'm making. And yet they're getting a swag bag and they can't even respect us to give us something here in DMV when we've been on the front lines, and the nurses too, in those prisons, in the prisons, they've been on the front lines too. But both DMV and the nurses and everyone else who works behind the prison walls, you have been on the front lines. And for our union to not even respect you, to bring you the correct swag, I apologize for that. Now, would that have happened if that had been me?
Very true.
Look, I've made mistakes. I don't think that would have happened with me. I just don't. But people do make mistakes. Now, maybe it is the night before Thanksgiving. And I said, when I did my little prayer before I did this tonight, I said, I'm not going to act a fool tonight. I'm going to be quite optimistic because those who are very close to me, for some reason, they have been such an amazing amount of hope and encouragement to me. And so what you're going through, Roxy, you're not by yourself. A lot of us are going through what you're going through and how you feel. And then on top of that, it almost makes you feel like the union doesn't have any power and that DMV is basically doing whatever they want to do. But yet, when it comes to passing this next contract, they're going to be begging those in DMV to vote yes on a childlike, condescending contract. Because how do I say that with confidence? If I'm not your chief negotiator, I promise you, you will repeat the continuing childlike contract in the past. The same thing.
Agreed.
And here's the funny thing. Even the people who don't even like me know this. They know this. So now they're trying to figure out how they can control the narrative and manipulate to pass the next contract by putting out that we're 10, 15, 25 billion in deficit so that you don't have no hope of getting a substantial pay increase when they had already admitted earlier in the year that we had nearly 100 billion in surplus. Now all of a sudden it's gone. Remember what I kept telling everybody? I said, we have to fight and get that money. And as someone put in the chat, the essential worker premium pay. Remember when I was at the union and people were giving me, the critics, those who were the evildoers, were giving me holy hell about that essential worker premium pay. But you ain't heard a dime about that money since they, quote, did their suspension of me. Because they look at the politicians as being our bosses. Not as being an equal partner in a relationship, but being our boss. And because they look at it like that, and they refuse to acknowledge that this is a 50-50 partnership, because then they don't want to say the same things I say, then they'll let the state of California and all its different agencies treat us the way they do.
Agreed.
But...
So how... Okay.
No, I'll stop right there. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How do I explain to the people in my office that, hey, our president says hang in there. Don't stop believing. It's kind of hard when I've kind of stopped believing myself.
So, some people believe in the scriptures, some people don't. Most people believe in having a positive attitude, particularly if they have children. Because, when people have children, they constantly tell the children, don't cry, stay positive, we'll work these things out. You can overcome anything that you put your mind to. But here's what I'm going to do. You stay on. I'm going to let, I see a hand raised, Evie. I want her to come on. And then all three of us are going to talk. We're going to do something different tonight. So I'm going to let Evie come on, and then you stay on, and then you can continue to ask me more questions. So go ahead, Evie. I'll put your hand down.
Thank you, President Brown. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I want to reiterate some of the points that Ms. Roxy put forth. It is hard. How do you get people to continue to stay engaged when there are times when you feel like it's not worth it? let me speak for myself. There are plenty of times that I have felt like this is not worth it because of the amount of corruption that I have personally seen and bear witness to within this union. I am one of those people who love positivity. I love to see the brighter side of things. And even I have said, wow, what is this? Is it even worth it? Can I really connect my name to this organization even afterwards, after all of this is done? Because the damage that has been done to the reputation of this organization, to Local 1000, is so immense, is so deeply rooted that I don't know if it's at the point that it is irreparable because of how much has been done openly. And so if the stuff that's done openly is this bad, how about the stuff that we don't even know about?
Amen.
I pray, I believe in my Lord Jesus Christ. He's my Savior. If others believe differently, then I respect their beliefs. My belief is in the Lord. And I pray and for the strength to continue to have faith and continue to be able to have that positive outlook. Because at times, Ms. Walker, I am with you, it is hard. Because when you're in this drudgery and knowing that people are blatantly lying to your face, it's hard to keep that positivity going. However, like President Brown, I love the Hebrews 11. Faith is what we right now have to put forth, because faith is not about knowing. It's not about seeing. It's about understanding that even though I don't see, I know who does see, and I'm going to trust that it is. Whether I see it, whether I have the evidence of it right now, I know that it's going to happen. So I'm putting my faith in the promises of God, of my Lord, and I know that in the end, His goodness always wins. So let me not preach too much on you, but with you guys. So I did want to bring up a few points. One, about the lies that are coming through right now. Brothers and sisters, please don't fall for them. Like President Brown said, hey, they had all these millions of dollars, right? Almost, what was it, $1 billion, $1 trillion?
100 billion.
Money.
100 billion.
$100 billion. And in, what, 2 months it's gone? Yeah, okay. So isn't it interesting, the closer we get to 2023 and our contract runs out, all of a sudden the money's gone. Interesting. Okay, so God gave us brains so that we can use them. We are stewards, and as stewards, I don't know if Local 1000 really understand the word of steward. It means that it is not mine. I have been given the privilege to be able to oversee someone else's whatever, whether it's their money, their land, their children, whatever. Stewards, when you are a steward of something, you have the utmost responsibility to make sure that it's being taken care of to the utmost level, which means that if you're spending money, you need to make sure to give an accounting to the people that you are in stewardship for. That is the members. So why are we not being given a detailed accounting of where the money is going? Where is the money going? Where is our money going? I don't want someone telling me, oh yeah, well, this is what I'm thankful for, or this is what I had for lunch today, or yeah, I went on a trip and it was beautiful. That's nice. I don't give a hoot. I want a detailed accounting of how you are spending my money and other people's money, because you are a steward first before you are any other title within this union. And then corporations, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Our laws have dictated that corporations are required to give a detailed accounting to their members or their constituents or whomever, whatever title that they have. Ours are members. You are supposed to give a detailed accounting of all the money that you have taken in and what you've done with that money. So when you say, oh, we spent a large amount of money, no, okay, give me numbers. I want the actual numbers that represent what you call a large amount or a small amount. And in 2010, Citizens United versus federal elections, that really solidified for us the requirement for corporations is a detailed accounting. So if you're not familiar with it, I would recommend that people look that up. The 2010 Supreme Court decision, Citizens United versus federal elections, you'll find out that, yes, it is a requirement. It's not just me saying it. And lastly, because I know I can sometimes run on, I apologize. I thank you so much for being patient with me, everyone on this call. But the last thing I just want to talk about was, I wrote it down. Anyways, it'll come back to me later. Those are the few.
Okay, well, you can always re-raise your hand, but I wanted you to talk with me and Roxy at the same time. So here's what I want to do. I want to bring JP.
Oh, I'm sorry. The last thing, sir, is transparency. Supreme Court said that transparency is required. That's it.
Okay, now I want to bring JP on because I'm not sure if I've ever had JP speak before. So let's bring JP on. Go ahead, JP.
Okay, hello everybody. I hope you can hear me fine. To Roxy, and I understand you wanting to quit. I've wanted to quit and check out a couple of times too, but I'm going to say this to you about quitting. And anybody, don't be in such a hurry to quit. You always have the option of quitting. It's not like you can't do it tomorrow, next week, next month. So just wait. If you can, just hold on. And because this is all a ploy to get you to do some of this stuff. They want you to quit, check out, not have the voice to be in the union to help the president and help each other. Because, all of our voices will eventually help each other. And now to the money, which everybody wants to know about. Anybody, you guys can Google it, just look it up. So this is a ploy they have used, and they've used it for years. So when they have money, they spend it on everything. At DMV, we bought new computers and laptops that we can't. So we got like 4 or 5 computers, monitors on our desk that we can't go home and work with. But they buy all this equipment. We got new printers that we really didn't need. So they're spending up all the money, or trying to. It's not all gone. But what they do when it's time for us to get a new contract, they always start to holler about 3 or 4 months before our contract is up. They're broke, they don't have any money. They're planting a seed in your brain, in your mind, and hoping that it will grow and that you will be like, well, they have been telling us for a while now, we're broke, we don't have any money. So when your union does nothing and comes back and says, we're sorry, they don't have any money, they've been telling you they're broke, you go, okay, well, minus 1.5 better than being laid off. Don't fall for that. That's a ploy. Don't do it. And all you have to do is Google it and look. Right after we sign for a contract and accept no money, the legislature every time gets an increase between 26 and 32% increase for themselves. And they're workers just like you guys are. And if they don't have enough money to give you money, they shouldn't have enough money to give them raises either. And they never do that. They're not broke when it's time for them to get a raise. Just anybody, Google it if you don't believe me. You can check it out and see for yourself. It is a running thing, and it happens every single time. That's what they're going to do now. Mark my words. If people fall for this, they don't have any money, and you sign off on getting the 4.5% increase in the next 4 or 5, 6 years, however long the contract is going to be for. Right after you do that, you're going to hear those guys downtown at the state capitol get a 33, 34, 36% increase in pay. And you're going to be going, well, how come we didn't get some of that? Because you didn't stand up. We didn't stand up and fight for it. Please don't fall for it. Please do not. So Roxy, just hold on. Don't quit. You can always do it, in the new year. Just wait. Stand still for a minute. Or check out when you need to recharge your batteries and come back into the fight. Because maybe that's what you need to do. Sometimes I have to do the same thing. Check out when I can't stand it no more, and then I jump back in. Okay. Unless somebody has a question for me, that's it.
Okay. Listen, we've been going. We started at 6:30. We've gone for almost 33 minutes. I've never seen 33 minutes go by so fast with people who I know are long-winded speakers talk so quickly and so thoroughly. I've never seen it happen before. Let me see if I can play catch up. Let me see if I can talk just as fast. What JP just said is absolutely 1,000% correct. When it's time for us to get our substantial pay increase, a 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally, along with GOP and COLA, now all of a sudden we're 10, 15, 25 billion in deficit. They've done that trick before. Let me go back, because I wrote this down. Do you remember when, quote, these evildoers in the union who are trying to remove me from office were so mad because I said no political spending? That was part of my platform, and that's what the voters said. No political spending. They said that's absolutely madness. We will spend on politics. What has all of your money got you so far with all your political spending? What has it gotten you? Then, what she says by don't quit, don't be in a rush to quit. JP is right. Don't be in a rush to quit. This is a ploy so they can silence your voice all over again. People voted. They voted in me as the Local 1000 president. We did not raise holy hell to make sure I'm back in my position. So when they're trying to remove me from my position and they don't see the groundswell to stop that, then they feel they can do anything because they feel like you don't care. Because some people have quit. They wanted you to quit. Anyone that's supporting no political spending, that supports that 10-point platform, they want you to quit. Because that 10-point platform eliminates the status quo. It creates a lengthy strike fund, so you don't care who sits in the governor's seat. As long as you have a strike fund, as long as you know you're bargaining in good faith, and you've reached a legal impasse, now you can shut down the 4th largest economy on earth. You don't care what politicians sit up there. What you care about is being unified, staying on point, respecting your elections within the union, ensuring that you don't have any corruption in your union, which is what Ivy was talking about with the transparency. And remember, I told people years ago, I am your transparent leader. These other people, quote, members for transparency and change, they were never for transparency. They told you what you wanted to hear, but they had no inclination to do what they said. When's the last time you seen a credit card statement? You'll never see one again unless I'm returned back to my position of authority as the president with my full powers. Now, I didn't mean to get loud.
And can I jump in?
I'm sorry. Yes, please. Yes.
So I do want people to take note of this. Some of you have been with the state a lot longer than me. So you know that the prior president never gave you any access to any of this information. President Brown has been trying to educate us. And I know it's a lot of information. It could be a little overwhelming. So do go back and look at some of his slides and things that he still has up, if he still has them up, and familiarize yourself with some of that information. Because we're going to lose that information if he's no longer our president.
One quick thing. Well, wait. Hold on. Wait.
Sorry.
Let me jump in on that for a second. Now, I took time and I put all those PowerPoints together. You're on my website, createexcellence7437.com. I put all those PowerPoints from October 13th all the way up to February 23rd. They're all up there. So there is no excuse that you didn't know about the information I was trying to provide you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, JP. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh,
So, because it's up there, he gave a lot of information in the beginning when he first became president, and it was a lot of good information, and it was a lot of questions that I was asking around in my building, but nobody had the answer to. And then all of a sudden, he gets elected, and he started answering questions that I never asked him, and I was like, oh, that's the answer to that question. Oh, that's the answer to that question. Oh, this is why this is not happening. This is what we can do. This is how it needs to be done. Okay, it's really good information. They don't want us, the membership, to be really have a voice, a strong voice, to be powerful, and to voice our dislike, to stand up for ourselves and each other. That's why they don't want there to be a steward 2, 3, or 4, or 5 at every office. All these DMV offices, and I'm only going to speak about those. I don't know about the other places. There should be more than one steward on every floor or in every other unit. That's not enough. And the less amount of stewards there are, the more power management and others have against us. The more stewards we have, the more eyes and ears we have to help each other and ourselves. So that's really important. The more people become and want to be stewards, because you can help yourself and you can help your other co-workers with issues that they're having on the job, by bosses who are bullying us, just being disrespectful. I just put up a sign that just said, no, this is a no bully zone. And they kind of stayed away from my desk a little bit and just like, oh, no bullying? Oh, okay, and they keep walking. Yes, that's what I want. I'm not sure what's so hard about being respectful and being treated like an adult and treating others like an adult. Nowhere in their job descriptions for managers does it say babysitter. That's not the definition of management or a manager. Look it up. And don't let them, and remind them of it if you have to. You're not my babysitter. You are managers. Those 2 words are not synonymous. Okay? Sorry, this is a little emotional, so I'm going to back out now.
Okay. So I see another hand raised. I see Evie. Go ahead, Evie. I see your hand raised. Go ahead.
Thank you, President Brown. So what I have noticed is that, I don't know if everyone on this call recalls that they promised us initially when this all took place, when it all started back in March. They said, oh yeah, we're going to continue to have the weekly meetings so members can talk and be able to give us their concern. And it went from that to, okay, we're going to cut people off, to, okay, we're not having the meeting this week, to, okay, we're not having the meeting for 2 weeks, to, okay, we're not having the meeting again until next year. So, I don't know, and then things started coming down from the website where you can't find certain information anymore. The board of directors meetings, you should be able to attend them, but you can't. So I don't know if people are watching, if they're aware, but they are slowly, like that frog that's in the pot, just taking away more and more of what we were able to get with President Brown. Because they said, oh, they weren't going to change it, but they've changed it. So please stay aware, because the only way there's going to be accountability is if we force them to be accountable. And when President Brown is asking for those people who want to help, if you really want to keep the few rights that we were able to garner with President Brown, then help him get back in office so that we can be able to get our duly elected voice back, because they're not going to speak for us.
I'm glad that she's saying that. Listen, this is the night before Thanksgiving. And, a lot of people have some strong energy tonight before Thanksgiving. And, all right, so I just had a comment on Facebook. I'm trying to keep up with on Zoom and Facebook. When you said, Evie, they've been taking away the meetings and stuff, the person on Facebook, Elizabeth, said, replace slowly with intentionally. Listen, both of you are right. Yeah, if you ever noticed, when I took office, I never missed a Wednesday night. Even when I was on the road going to work sites. There was times when I was out by the ocean trying to do a video. Now you notice when the EB said they stopped, I believe they stopped October 19th, 2022 was the last Wednesday night that they did. And then it's supposed to go all the way up to the last Wednesday in January of 23. And I said that's like 267 or 269 days. So they keep sending you emails to try to convince you that everything is okay. But it's not. In fact, Annika didn't even do her call last night. All right. But I also understand that, she's married, she has children, she probably has a lot of things, and let's be honest with ourselves. In this country, oftentimes women have to do so much on the job and then at home as well. So I understand that. But when I told people I was going to work around the clock 24/7, and I said that back in 2015, I meant that. Which means that I kind of gave up everything. I don't really have a personal life. Because I know how important this was, or this is, about helping people get a substantial pay increase. And that you can actually pay money to a union, and that the union does not have to be corrupt. It doesn't have to be. Are there some good, clean unions in America? Yes, I hope so. I really do. Here in Local 1000, we have a chance. When I was told that, there's no way you can beat the incumbent, that was a lie. People are being told there's no way that Richard will get back into his position of power the way it originally was with the original bylaws and policy file. That is a lie. These things they've been doing are lies. Will the court system clear this up? I don't know for sure. But I remain what? Hopeful. I have not lost what? Faith. And there's nothing tougher than when I told people I won the election through the grace of God. I was given the dream. But now, when people say, well, where is your God now? If God is really for you, then why are you going through these tough situations? And this is why a lot of people have a hard time believing in God. But, as it says, patient in tribulation. Patience worketh, or tribulation worketh patience in our life. And there's nothing tougher than going through holy hell in front of the whole world. But if I am your leader, the duly elected president, and I tell you to not give up, well, first I must practice what I preach. When I told you I would not take that salary stipend and I would not sign for the VPs to take it, I told you the truth. When I told you I wouldn't do anything wrong, I told you the truth. When I said I'd fight for people's jobs, I told you the truth. I have not lied to you. I have not misspent this money the way they claim. They're the ones taking the trips to Norway and going to Disneyland and going to Napa and all that. I didn't do anything like that. Nothing like that. Nothing even remotely like that. You'll see that unions have problems, but it does not have to be that way. And I'm going to go back to what Roxy said about, you get so frustrated you just want to give up. I've said this repeatedly. The African Americans in the 60s, down south, how did they pull off their protests without giving up first? Without being second guessed? Was their strategy so brilliant Or was it something else? Everyone has an opinion. Women were told you never vote in this country. That was a lie. Some people would say gay marriage will never happen in this country. That was a lie. So a lot of times when we're told this can never happen, that's not true. Now everybody knows the scripture about all things are possible with God. Okay, if you believe in God. But for those who have a positive mindset, let me reach out to you. Where are you? If your mindset is so positive, then why have you given up on Local 1000? We all know we have corruption in the union. There's times when we all want to quit and just walk away. And so when someone says, well, I walk away for a little bit and I come back, please don't walk away for too long, because every day or every couple of days you don't put that discipline in and stay in tune with the union, you fall behind. It's really critical. Now, some people have given me some great advice. I've taken it. A lot of people are wondering, what actions are you going to take in the future, Richard? I don't ask people to do things that I don't do myself. If you watched all my videos, I don't ask no one to do something that I won't do myself. Action will be taken. If you want to contact me, 408-207-2339, please do. 408-207-2339. I'm all over the internet. I'm not hard to contact. If, and I say this with sincerity, and it's not about me tonight, but I'm going to tell you something. If you allow Local 1000 to remove its duly elected president, if you allow that to happen, and you don't take action, and raise holy hell, whether through the court system or through the union, and demand that the president be restored with his full powers and put that policy file and bylaws back to their original nature when he took office, if you sit back and say it doesn't matter and you allow this to happen, I'm going to promise you this. You'll never have a union ever again. Not that you ever had one to begin with. But they'll continue to take money from you over and over. But it won't be no 2 days. There's going to come a point in time in history for this union, they're going to take a whole week from you because they know you don't have the courage of your convictions to stand up and fight. And these managers will continue, not all the managers, let's not stereotype all managers, but a percentage of these managers will continue to demonize you, babysit you, demoralize you, try to intimidate you, because they know that you won't even stand up to your own union and demand that your union fight for you and fight for the duly elected president. They're all sitting back and watching this. Now, I told you this was a racial situation involved with the politics. You didn't want to hear that. Okay. Every time I tell you something, it materializes. Every time I tell you. And I know that, we want to be happy during the holidays. And I want everyone on this call and in the union to be happy. Will I be happy during the holidays if you're wondering? Sure, I'll be working. I still want people to invite me to their work sites. And I've told Roxy Walker, and she's having the dickens of a time with her labor relations down in DMV in Lancaster. So she may set up something in that parking lot. And when she does, I'm going to show up. Rain, the cold, it doesn't matter. I will show up. If you want to help me, I've always said contact me, 408-207-2339. We're not going to go long tonight. We're going to stop this here in a few minutes unless someone has something important to say, either on Facebook or here on Zoom. I want everyone to get a good night's rest and have the best time of your life tomorrow, because no day is promised to you. Every day is sacred to us. Some people didn't live this year to see this holiday. And to those who lost their lives through tragedy this year, whether it was in the streets, you went to a nightclub to enjoy yourself, no matter what you may have gone through, that you're no longer here. Everyone that's alive now, either you can praise God or whoever you worship, or thank your lucky stars. We don't have to be here. Our lives can end tomorrow. Please don't give up. Not just on Local 1000. What I'm asking you to do is to not give up on yourself during the holidays or throughout the course of your life. Do not give up. It's easy to just give up, throw your hands up, and let people walk over you. That's not how this country was built. This country was built on fighting professionally through capitalism. And yes, there were some wars on this continent. Why do I talk about the history of this country? I talk about the history of this country because we can make history right now with Local 1000. Will we have to do some wars within this union? Absolutely. The time for peace and the time for war. It's called management decisions. If you allow the union to remove me, you've given up all hope. Let's never give up all hope on anything, whether it's union related, on your whether it's regarding your family, or your job, or any hobby that you may have. Some of us are doing jobs that we don't want to do. Some of us are looking for new jobs, and are going through hell, going through the quote state government process, those hiring interviews that oftentimes are as crooked as we don't know. Well, we do know how crooked they are. All the nepotism and favoritism, kind of like life in a sense. Could our union do a better job? Yes, they could. Will they? No, they will not. You have the right leader in place. I will not steal your money or your dignity. That's a promise. And when you call, I try to call you back as soon as possible. These other so-called Local 1000 leaders, that's not who they are. And I'm not trying to be critical tonight. What I'm simply saying to you is, don't lose hope. Keep the faith. This has been an open dialogue tonight. Again, I want everyone to have a beautiful, beautiful holiday season. But don't forget that during the holiday season, when you put your guard down, this is when the union does its most evil actions. And they're not going to stop until they're able to, quote, remove me from office. We're going to fight this off. But I need your support. And when you call me and you have these great ideas, a lot of times, I hope that people are willing to put their great ideas into action. You don't need my approval. You really don't. Some people are brilliant at certain things. They know who they are. They know who they are. I need you to go to work. And you don't have to tell me everything that you do. Because I know you're doing it to save our union. And that's important. Because what we do now, how we fight now to ensure that Local 1000 becomes a labor union is going to affect the young people. And young people are taught that unions are not needed anymore. Unfortunately, that's what they're taught. And the way we're acting and the way we're conducting ourselves, the young people will say, I don't need to be part of that. That's beneath me. And maybe they're not wrong. We can do much better. We can create a new culture of excellence. That old culture of status quo, we got to eliminate that. I sincerely mean that. Remember what I say, inspire the impossible. All right, 8:25 this evening on November the 23rd, 2022. Have a great Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, try not to eat too much. I wish everyone a much-deserved time off from work. And I hope, the one thing I like about this particular holiday, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And most people don't go to work on Wednesday. And if you have a good boss, you can get off early on Wednesday. But this is the time you can get some rest and relaxation. And don't concern yourself about so many different things that's been bothering you all year. Enjoy your family. All right. Good night, everyone. Have a great night.